We are coming on the air with breaking news. The attorney for the first grade teacher shot by her student in Newport News is set to hold a news conference any minute now. The future of leadership at Newport News Public Schools is very much up in the air. We've learned that Superintendent Dr. George Parker could lose his job in just about 6 hours. Oh, an update on the Chesapeake deputy shot in the line of duty. Deputy Scott Chambers is back on his feet. The sheriff's office shared this photo of him. The last 3 days, closer to 1,000 cases a day, well below that average of what had been closer to 2,200 cases a day. Let's check on some of our local cities, and we're seeing the same thing. We've been able to confirm through a law enforcement source in ABC News that the gunman is a Walmart employee. This number just coming in, 7 people have died in this mass shooting. That includes the shooter. We had it with Charlottesville, Virginia a week ago. We had it with Colorado Springs this week. Now we have it with your hometown of Chesapeake, Virginia, the latest mass shooting in America. This now marks 15 people shot in the heart of downtown Norfolk in the last 6 months. In fact, just 2 minutes ago, a business owner stopped me on his way into work and said this is the worst he's ever seen it down here. Over the next hour, we do hope to get a better idea of what we are experiencing in our neighborhoods, what's behind the violence, what law enforcement is doing about it. By show of hands, do you agree that gun violence is now a public health crisis? Would you call it that?
Yes.
Chief Boone, is it possible to leave a gang? If you say this is not what I thought it was going to be, can you leave and have hope for survival in Hampton Roads, or do you have to flee to another city, another state, if you have any hope of getting out of gang life and living?
You will have to leave the area.
Dan Kennedy, our friend and Secret Santa from our Norfolk affiliate 13 News Now. He is there with them, and good morning to you, Dan.
This is the largest naval base in the world here at Naval Station Norfolk. As you mentioned, one lucky military family is going to be getting their layaway paid off. I've got the name right here in my pocket. And you see what that says? It's everyone! We'll send it back to you, Michael.
All right, Dan, thank you so much. How amazing is that?
I literally just looked down on the ground and found a nickel. I don't know what a nickel can do inside a casino.
Well,
Bethany and Ashley, I will tell you that I had every intention of going in here before the noon show to place a dollar bet on your respective football teams to win the Super Bowl next year.
You're so
Since they're
funny.
out of it this year. That obviously didn't happen. The line was a little too big. But, you know, maybe I can do something with this nickel for you.
So funny.
Yeah, you keep that nickel.
Yeah.
Dan, that's for all your hard work today. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
The Plummer sisters, Katina and Malaysia, never missed their brother's birthday.
He was our baby brother. We miss him dearly, dearly.
John Plummer would have turned 39 last week.
This is where we have to come and celebrate him, his birthdays, holidays, Christmas. This is what we have for him.
For John, it was a case of wrong place, wrong time. His sisters say he was shot breaking up a bar fight. Detectives identified 4 persons of interest and charged one of them with murder. But this past December,
Oh, God. It was like your heart breaking into a million pieces.
the prosecution hit a wall.
They couldn't get in contact with the witnesses, and some of them refused to speak.
And without that witness testimony, prosecutors didn't have a strong case. In the court of law, the Plummer case is now a nolle prosequi. It's Latin for we shall no longer prosecute. Charges can be brought back in the future, but for now, the suspect is free. We wanted to know how often cases collapse in court. We filed public records requests for a complete breakdown of murder cases across the 7 cities. When we were told the records didn't exist, we sifted through years' worth of arrests and built our own database. We found 297 adults arrested for homicides between 2018 and 2021, and then tracked what happened to those cases in court. Of the settled cases, we found 69% ended with a conviction. The remaining 31% ended with not guilty verdicts. They were dismissed or nolle prossed. That's a third of cases that are now unsolved murders. And when you break it down by city, we found conviction rates range from 100% in Suffolk, where they had few cases, to 56% in Portsmouth, where they had more.
When I look at the numbers, I'm not surprised. You know, I see the work, and there's also evidence that, you know, in certain instances we have victims and witnesses who are not willing to come forward, who are afraid.
Portsmouth Commonwealth's attorney Stephanie Morales could not talk specifics on the Plummer case, but she acknowledged a problem getting witnesses to testify. Portsmouth police say this underscores the need for a robust witness protection program, and that may happen. The General Assembly is set to vote this session whether to give $5 million to the witness protection program.
We as prosecutors, we can only play the cards we have, and the witnesses offer us the cards.
Norfolk Commonwealth's attorney Ramin Fadahi came under fire when a triple murder downtown ended with the charges no prost when witnesses failed to show in court. Still, we found Norfolk's 67% homicide conviction rate is in line with the Hampton Roads average.
The number one thing that would improve the solve rate is for individuals who see something to say something.
Stonewalled witnesses can explain some of the 33 cases no prost over the 4 years we researched, but that's not always the reason. In Newport News, we found 4 of the 5 cases no prost lacked sufficient evidence. Regardless of why, the outcome is the same for grieving families still chasing justice.
Right now, we don't see justice.
We don't see it.
We don't see. We still trying to push justice,
And that's what we're fighting for.
and that's what we fighting for our brother.
Portsmouth police tell me it is deeply frustrating when witnesses fail to show. Their detectives are still looking for more evidence and witnesses in the Plummer case, and we'll let you know if charges are ever brought back.
An update now to our investigation into people buying homes only to find out they don't actually own them. New tonight, we hear from the seller after he appeared before a judge on charges related to one of those homes. He previously ignored our request for a sit-down interview. Dan Kennedy updates this 13 News Now investigation, broke and homeless.
Joey, we just wanted to get your opinion on what the judge had to say.
Not today.
Joey Chinese left the Newport News courtroom with orders from a judge and questions from us. Yeah, do you want to talk before September?
I guess we'll talk. I'll set up an appointment to talk with you guys, okay?
Chinese sells homes under the LLC 72019 to people in Hampton Roads. They're often in dire disrepair. And in the case of this house on 24th Street in Newport News, in violation of city codes. City officials cited him to court for failing to maintain that property through the proper permits. The judge had to decide who is responsible for the repairs, the seller or the tenants. Our investigation last month revealed some people buying these homes began fixing them up thinking they were the legal owners. But we found in many cases it's actually the LLC. And the judge sided with the findings of our investigation, telling Chinese in court, quote, "The occupant is not the owner. Your responsibility still lies with the city as title holder." Anything you want to say to people who bought these homes who think they're the owner, but it turns out the judge said you are in fact the owner?
They have equitable interest to purchase the property, sir.
In what, 30 years' time?
Or when they prepay, when they get their credit correct, sir.
One of the contracts had an interest rate of close to 17%. I mean, that's a little higher than you get from a normal bank today, yeah?
I guess it's about the same as a hard money loan, right?
Under oath, Chinese told the judge, quote, "I am the owner with 72019 LLC. We are the title holder until the loan is paid off." It's a change of tune from last month when, after our first story aired, this post on his Facebook page read, "If you purchase a home from me or any investor I work with, you are the legal homeowner." Tonight, that's now a claim disputed on the record by a judge. Chinese is due in court in September to update the judge on obtaining the proper permits for the repairs to that home on 24th Street, but he also faces a second criminal charge regarding disrepairs on another property. The judge will address that in September as well.
There's something about waking up every morning. You know, the sunrise and the sound of the waves. It's perfect. It's easy for Cindy Dowdy to appreciate the beauty of her backyard. It's harder to come to terms with what that backyard has become. But the waves are coming up closer and closer and closer. The ocean took 3 of her neighbors' homes last year, so Dowdy now is taking action. She paid $150,000 to have her Rodanthe home moved an extra 100 feet away from the ever-changing coastline. There was really no choice. We wanted to save it. I mean, it's our home. And we could never replace it.
This is our driveway, but it's 4 feet under the sand.
Jeff Carroll bought this beach home just a year ago. Now he's also paying to have it moved.
I love the location. I love that it's right on the water, but it shouldn't be this right on the water.
Tape, and we'll show it later.
Carroll and Dowdy join a chorus of Rodanthe residents calling for beach nourishment. It's when sand is dredged from miles offshore and pumped onto the beach. Dare County spent almost $72 million last year on beach nourishment in Southern Shores, Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills, Nags Head, Avon, and Buxton, but not Rodanthe.
Why not Rodanthe?
We're not turning our back on them. We just have major issues and processes that we have to go through in order to certainly make this come to fruition, if at all.
Dare County Chairman Bob Woodard says that beach nourishment is not out of the question. He called a town hall last month to talk it over. Hundreds attended in person and online, driving home the urgency of the moment.
This is going to affect not just Rodanthe, but the entire Hatteras Island.
Sorry, I just got myself caught off by thinking about my home.
The county is waiting on the results of a feasibility study right now. Woodard says the main hurdle is money.
We're estimating right now that Rodanthe's, if we do a project in Rodanthe, would cost about $30 million.
Are you willing to pay more in taxes to get beach nourishment done in Rodanthe?
Without a question. Right away, let's do it.
You don't hear people often say, raise my taxes.
No, you don't. But you hear me saying it.
But Rodanthe is home to just 200 people. The tax base is so small, the county manager estimates it would take decades to raise enough money for the project. Some fear by then,
I think it's going to get wiped off the map.
The town could be gone.
If you lose Rodanthe, you lose all of Hatteras Island.
The feasibility study should be done in the coming months, but if Dare County can't afford to foot the bill, we wanted to know if there's federal help available. I checked with North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis and Congressman Greg Murphy. Tillis's office says he's aware of the issue and working on solutions. Meanwhile, Murphy's office says he's awaiting the results of that study to determine the most efficient solution, adding the issue is that this is not a one-and-done fix. He goes on to say even if federal funds are tracked down for a multi-million-dollar project, the expectation is that it would not be a lasting solution. It's true that beach nourishment requires maintenance every 5 years or so, so even if the project gets the green light, it could amount to just one expensive Band-Aid that gets the job done, but then needs changing out every 5 years.